I just wanted to ask you, we can do this off the record as well too. I know, you're a connected guy. I know if you don't want to offend any of your sources. I know you've got important connections. But how rigged do you think the NFL actually is? Like, being totally honest,
Okay,
what is the percentage? If you could put a percentage on it, how rigged is the NFL?
first of all, I'll start with this situation for the Lions game first. If what the Lions said happened actually happened, where Decker went into the huddle, Goff told him to go report, he walked up to Brad Allen, he said report, and he walked away. As an NFL officiating crew, how do you that up? Like how like something so straightforward, how do you fuck that up? You see Brad Allen in the clip, I think the viral clip is you see Decker go to Brad Allen, say report. Brad Allen then goes to the front of the Cowboys defensive line, informs them that Decker has reported as eligible. And then they just claim that the other guy who lined up in the tackle spot reported, that Decker never reported, and that an eligible receiver downfield can't catch that ball, and then that just doesn't count. Like, I don't understand like how you fuck up such a crucial moment, and especially Dan Campbell, who came out and said that he discussed this exact moment with the referees before the game, and they still fuck it up.
He let him know. He let him know what they were going to do in that situation. And I'll see if I can find the clip. But I think so. Obviously, not defending the refs, but just what I believe that they had said had happened was, and again, this is what the Lions had said was going to happen. Two players were going to walk over to disguise for the Cowboys which of the guys was checking in. So they were trying to be tricky about it. The problem was they just tricked the ref, and the ref, I think, got confused. So here, let me see if I can find the clip.
Yeah.
And I
And while
think
you're finding
looking at
that, it's like I don't know like what they have in place when it comes to like reviewing refs and games and stuff. But like I would gladly be paid like just like $7 an hour to read the entire rule book of the NFL and replay through as many referee games as possible just to know who needs suspended or not.
just you could be the official. Fattaport wants to be the official ref suspender for the NFL. And looking at this clip, we've got so in the clip we're watching here, it's number 58. Is that Sewell in Decker? That's not even because the report was. I thought the report that I saw was they were saying number 70,
Yeah, I saw 70 as well, but that
number
looks like Sewell
68
or
as well.
Decker. But even in that clip, Brad Allen looks Decker straight in the fucking face.
Yeah. Does
Like
Decker have a? He doesn't even have like a visor.
he looks him in the eyes.
So there's like a double lie going on. They're disguising for some reason who they were getting confused with. So would you say like
He wouldn't
9% rate?
I don't I mean, yeah, like you wouldn't look at somebody who wasn't talking to you. Is my thing. So
Is
like
it just
obviously he's looking to him directly in the eyes as he's saying report. He goes to tell. He just said the wrong number, I guess. But it's insane.
is it just because the thing is it's not like the first thing that we've had this year. And I think the ref thing always, we always remember the bad ref stuff. And I think every year it's like, oh, is this a bad ref season? But I mean, like, think of that Eagles matchup as well, too. Was that the Eagles that had the rep that was like a Eagles hometown fan making a call from I forget which week that was and which game that was. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it. It sounds funny though.
There was like some ref that was an Eagles fan. But the thing that makes me at least look at this a little bit differently now is like just the amount of outcomes that rely on these NFL games are more than ever before. Like the amount of stuff connected to the NFL has just continued to grow and boom. Like the TV stuff. And now, especially with the gambling stuff
Yeah.
has always been like the underground thing. Will this get in? Will they get the refs? But now it's like totally public. So now it's like it doesn't even have to be like the mob got Donaghy like in the NBA. Like it could just be what if the ref just takes the over? on FanDuel because he's in Kansas for the week. Like, and it's legal. Like, it is that easy now, in that just the amount of outcomes that this stuff relies on. So I don't know if the NFL necessarily rigs things, but I do definitely think that they want certain outcomes. And if you're gonna do that, it would be through the refs. And I don't, again, I don't know if the league ever goes to the refs and says, "Hey, do this," or if it's what do you think would be a bigger threat? Would it be the league wanting outcomes, or would it be the refs themselves, on an individual level, like maybe like we were saying, fan of a team, a guy's got a parlay, and just some guy kind of going rogue? Would it just be like, would a rogue agent be a bigger threat than like a group
I think
conspiracy, we won Cowboys in the Super Bowl type ordeal?
I think if it was like a big group conspiracy, it would be like a bigger deal. But I think like what would be like more like reasonable about happening would be just like a rogue ref who like maybe not even like themselves betting on the game, but betting on it through like family members or friends. That way their name doesn't like
Mm-hmm.
pop up on anything. Like that's like you've had like college players bet through their parents and stuff, and that's how that's kind of come into play with those rules. So I think, yeah, if these refs are betting on these plays, betting on these games, and then are able to like impact something like this bad, like I don't understand like looking at these clips from this game how you mess that up. Like me as like a normal human who does not play football, has no referee experience, just like simple common sense, I don't understand how you mess that up.
And it seems like, I know the betting thing can also be an issue too, but as simple as it is, I think the fandom thing now is potentially a bigger issue, because even going back, football has always been huge in America, but in some way is connected to football somehow. In like that they have a favorite team or favorite players, and like they're watching clips and stuff. I just do think that these refs, even if it's like subconscious or rooting for something, like they just have to be. Like, everybody now watches football and consumes it and likes guys and have opinions and wants things to happen. That, I think, also too has to play a factor into it. So yeah, I don't know if this was like yeah, Brad Allen just made like the worst mistake of all time. Like that is also like, it just like totally very, very possible. But there is like I don't know if I even want to put a percentage on it, but there is there I will say there is a percent chance that something is going on. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think for some reason after this season, I do think I would be open to it, because the refs have just been really sketchy
Yeah.
this year. And it does seem like, with the offsides as well too, the the way when they call the offside on Tony in that Chiefs game, the offensive offside, and just the way after that too, they cranked up the offside call, and it was
I
like,
did
okay,
notice that. Yep.
are they trying to just be like, oh no, yeah, this is just something we do all the time, like this is totally normal, it's part of the game? Or are they just like, oh, did the league say, hey, maybe this is something that we've been slacking on and we need to pay attention to? But it's like, okay, clearly they care, they're being told things, and things are shifting and moving around. So I know, it's unfortunate for Detroit, and who knows if they end up winning the game, whatever. It's like, it's one of those things. Seems likely that they do if they get the play. But I would be slightly open to something something being up for the NFL. But CeeDee Lamb had a big game in this game, just to shout him out quickly. And
Hmm.
his season in general this year, through 16 games, he has already set Cowboys franchise records for receptions, receiving yards, and he's second all time for Cowboy receivers in catch percentage as well too. The 92-yard touchdown he had this week is the second longest receiving touchdown in Cowboys history. So I like the fact that he broke the receiving and the receptions record through 16 games, because now if there's 17 games, like the single season totals can get skewed a little bit for some of these franchise records. But and again, he will have the other games, so those totals are going to go up. But he did do it through the OG 16 game season. So I think, you can put CeeDee Lamb season up. I think I want to say it was like the 92 or 93 Michael Irvin season. That's maybe the other great Cowboys
Yep.
receiver season. And, for in terms of yards, and you can go back in the older days for somebody that didn't get the amount of yards. But I like that he just did it through the standard games compared to having to need the extra time.
I thought, yeah, I like that. And not only did he do it through the standard amount of games, he did it the same night where Michael Irvin's team was being recognized because of Jimmy Johnson, and he does it while
Mm.
wearing Michael Irvin's number 88. So I just thought like all three of those things, it kind of just added up to be the perfect night to do it.
There was Pearson was the other 88 back in the day. I was trying to think who there was like a
Des
Bob
Bryant as
Hayes
well
run.
also wore 88.
Ooh, you're right, Dead. I know there's like a tradition there with
Yeah, there's a clip I just saw today of Michael Irvin on Jimmy Kimmel talking about it. He told the Cowboys he doesn't want his number ever retired because like his
oh
standpoint on it is when you retire a number, like fans will go to the game, they'll look in the rafters, they'll see it, be like, oh, there's Michael Irvin's number. The rest of the game, they're looking at the game. Instead, you've got CeeDee Lamb who's wearing number 88. Des Bryant wore 88. Obviously, Michael Irvin wore 88. When CeeDee Lamb's breaking all these records, they're thinking, oh, this guy is the same. This guy does the same that Michael Irvin did. When CeeDee Lamb drops the ball, he's like, the fans will be like, oh, but when Michael Irvin wore 88, he wouldn't have dropped that ball. So he's like, his mind is like, everybody will still have Michael Irvin on their mind as people wear his number rather than if it's just hanging above them.
so are you pro jersey retirement? Did Michael Irvin talk you into it?
It depends. It depends on the player. I think like Tom Brady obviously retired that jersey because like as of right now he's like.
So you think maybe quarterbacks retire quarterbacks? Is that what you're going to
I
get to?
think if you're almost unanimously the best player at your position in the history of the
That's
sport,
fair.
then retire it. But like if you just like if you set a bunch of franchise records and there's still players that are better than you and you want like your like number legacy to remind people that like that number wide receiver at this team is the best, then I say don't let him retire it. Let people wear it, especially like generational talents like CeeDee Lamb. He's just proving Michael Irvin's point exactly right.
So what if Russell Wilson was doing all this while he was wearing number 18? And he had showed up in Denver after the trade and was like, I'm here to save the franchise. I'm the next guy. Peyton, we've had the conversation. He took me out to dinner. Honestly, I wasn't even going to bring it up, but he brought it up first. He said, you know what? You should take the number and wear number 18. And then he just sucks. Would you be okay with that?
You take him outside the stadium. You
Oh, I think IT might have to cut that out, but we might have to. That one might IT get the bleeps ready when Fattaport starts talking about Russell Wilson. But Fattaport's just a wild kid sometimes. It
only
is
I
what it
think
is.
Russ is good. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
why
But
we
like
have
if
Mod.
he was, and like in this hypothetical situation where like he hypes himself up to be Peyton Manning, who is probably I put him as the best quarterback in Broncos franchise history. John Elway was really good. Don't get me wrong,
Broncos
but Peyton
franchise
Manning
history.
led a top 3 yardage Broncos offense, top 3 yardage in any team's offense in the history of the NFL, and like in my opinion, the second best quarterback in the history of the NFL. And then if he were to come in, say, oh, he's going to do all these things, go 4-13 in year one, and then get benched in week 17 in year two, then I would not be a fan of him ever again.
What number does Russell Wilson wear right now?
Number 3.
Number 3. Classic Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason I was thinking, I was like, is he in number 13 right now? But
if he gets cut, we might have to retire it just out of embarrassment.
Oh, it goes away. Is that so?
Not
That's
let
the other
people wear
side
it
of the
ever
coin.
again.
It's like we can't ever remember this guy's performance ever. Like
There's
we don't want
probably,
to.
like that would be like known as what, like a shadow ban. There's probably shadow ban numbers in for certain NFL
Shadow
teams,
ban
but,
numbers?
like, these players have been so completely bad that we're not going to let people wear them because it's going to remind them of the players who were so awful.
Is that a bit? Do we do that? Do we do that in the? Is that a bit? Shadow ban numbers.
Shadow ban numbers.
We can go all time guys. That one might be. we'll workshop that one.
What
And
number
see.
did Jamarcus Russell wear in Las Vegas? Or in, I guess it would have been Oakland at the time.
Is he number one?
He might.
I want to say he was number one.
He's the worst number one overall player.
Yeah, you can say that number
in the
and
history
pick.
of the NFL. He wore number 2.
Oh, so close. What number's Damari Mathis?
27.
That would have been my guess. Are you shadow banning 27?
All right, so the last player who wore number 2 for the Raiders was Terrell Pryor in 2013.
Oh, yeah, shadow ban.
Who was the year?
It needs to go away.
He was the next number after Jamarcus Russell from 2007 to 2009.
So nobody has worn it since 2009?
Since 2013.
15 years?
Only one player has worn it since 2009. It was Terrell Pryor, the quarterback, who obviously
was so yeah, okay. So 13.
For his whole career.
So nobody's worn it in a decade?
In 10 years, nobody's worn number 2. At least this is what Google says. I'm going off of Google.
So the first shadow ban, we found the first shadow ban number, because I think that is kind of unofficially shadow banned if nobody is wearing it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's not like a bad number. Guys would be picking number 2, especially now.
It would be
like the
other, a quarterback or like a receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, now that the other guys can actually wear the single-digit numbers, some of the other positions, I feel like we just found the first one.
I'm on their roster. I'm going to see if there's anybody.
Shout out to CeeDee Lamb.
I'm an idiot.
For big performance.
Daniel Carlson currently wears number 2.
You're an idiot for not knowing Carlson's number?
Well, I'm an idiot because he's on my fantasy team.
Oh. So you're locked in on the Carlson minutes. You've seen all the Carlson reps this year.
I apologize. Well, Google lied to me.
So they let the kicker wear it anyway. So still kind of semi-shadow ban.